You're going to see the two examples for both Farley and I, and we'll put the two pictures and you guys decide if we look like our supposed doppelgangers. It's a really interesting thing that the name is German and it's double twin.
Like your evil twin. It was like a bad omen. If
Yes.
you looked like somebody and saw somebody that looked like you, it was like your evil, sinister side.
Bring it on!
Welcome to Girls Gone Gritty.
I'm Farley Boyle, girl mom.
And I'm Jennifer Brenius, boy mom. Together, we're Team Boyle-Renius.
Each other's ride
Or die. This is where grit gets real. We don't just talk, we do it.
We're here for the messy stories, the hard-fought lessons, and the courage it takes to keep showing up.
Especially when it's uncomfortable. We bring gratitude and attitude to everything we do.
We jump in head first, unafraid, and are all in all the time.
We bring it on and get it on, diving into unscripted conversations on just about everything.
We don't just talk grit, we live it.
We put the it in grit. So let's get gritty!
Hi, and welcome to Girls Gone Gritty. Today, we are doppelgangers, and that is something that we are going to cover. Have you ever walked into a room and looked like somebody? Has anybody ever told you that you remind them of somebody or that you look identical to somebody? Supposedly, everybody has a twin somewhere.
Maybe. I don't know. Right now, I'm twinning.
We
Doppelganging? No.
Doppelganging.
Not
There's
exactly.
We're going to debunk what doppelganging means and where it came to be. But before that, we're going to hit you with some great top threes.
All right, here we go. Number 3. Best before, best by, sell by, best if used by, enjoy by. Experts weigh in on expiration dates.
Ooh, this is a big debate in my house, as I
is
know
it
it is. My husband wants to throw things out before it's expired or absolutely on the expiration date. And I'm always like, smell it, taste it. And he's like, no, thank you.
No, thank you.
But we just read an article that says it is false. It does not mean that the product has expired. It just isn't as fresh as it once was. And a lot of times it's a giant waste of money and goods because you just toss it preemptively because somebody tells you that it expired technically.
Well, and it's merely a suggestion most of the time. It's not like it's going to suddenly become deadly or poisonous.
Exactly.
And I always come back to the almighty dollar. They would like to sell more.
Agreed.
And if you toss it, I have to go buy more. Food waste is a problem. Humans are really smart. I think we got to go back to using the senses. And worst case scenario, you take a little taste of something, it doesn't taste right, wash out your mouth, you throw it out after.
Listen, if it's seafood, yes, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you can smell that.
If it's orange juice and you take a sip of it and now it feels fizzy, there are indicators that it has expired. But the majority of the time, if you're within that first week window of expiration, you're okay.
Yeah, you're okay. And I'll tell you, the fizzy orange juice ruined mimosas for me.
Oh.
I cannot drink mimosas because of bad orange juice as a kid. I do believe they have shortened what they think is reasonable because of lawsuits.
Well, it's like telling somebody to get someplace early, so you give them an hour earlier than everybody else is supposed to be there.
Yeah.
They're basically shortening things because they don't want to be at risk, but there's a week padding.
Yeah. And California and New York have legislation on both of the governor's desks to make this more concise for consumers because all the ones I read in the headline are very confusing. So go back to your senses. You know what's good for you and what's not.
Exactly.
Number 2, being in the know costs money. Subscription to be informed. What is happening?
I don't think we thought about the fact that to have TV, maybe you can get your 3 basic networks for nothing. You used to be able to.
You had an antenna on top of your roof.
I don't know if that works anymore.
I don't think so.
So think about how you are consuming your news. You have to have a subscription on the television set. You have to have a subscription to receive something in the mail or a newspaper. And now we're subscribing online. It seems like anytime I Google something and I want to read further, I have to have a subscription so that I can actually read that. If you're going to check 10 different sources on the same article to see if it falls somewhere in between, that's how I check the truth beyond Snopes. How am I going to be able to do that if I have to have a subscription for every single news outlet, media house?
Yeah, it's problematic. I get it from a media house standpoint. It does cost money to pay the reporters, to go on site, to get the story. I recognize all of that. But the part that gets dicey is when it becomes a pay to play for good information. You can get the top level basic story for $0. But when you want to dive deep and get educated on something and get the news sourced bit more, it costs money. And right now, pay attention because Truth Social, which is President Trump, he wants premium access given to investments and banking institutions, which I think is problematic. So we know the news is changing. We know that not everybody is tuning into television or cable, and print media is all but dead for the most part.
And it should be if you can afford it or not.
It shouldn't.
It should be consumption for the masses. We all need to be informed. And if President Trump is going to start putting pertinent information on Truth Social that other syndicated formats aren't utilizing, and you have to be subscribed to get the insider intel,
that's not okay.
It's not okay.
No, not as the president. He can do that when he's not president anymore. If anybody wants to do things on their private platform and make it pay to play, it is their right.
Major announcements
Makes it
should
okay?
not be on that format.
No, it should not. It should be open to everybody, and it should come out of the White House.
Agreed.
The end. All right. Lastly, number one, and this is a feel good, love the farmers markets. Joe Burrow and 24 other athletes invest in farmland instead of diversifying their portfolio into crypto and startups like everybody else.
I love this. I think it's wonderful, and people will follow if they lead by example. You've got the NFL, you've got the NBA, some country singers taking their dollars and letting the farmers originally farming that land lease it back from them in order to increase our agriculture footprint and not let everything be imported and have farmlands turned into AI
data houses or condo complexes
Yes.
or anything else that we don't need more of. We need to be able to produce our own food on our home soil. We've got a beautiful country. And I love the fact that they not only see this as a diversification of their portfolio, but they see it as a legacy opportunity for their family. Buying land is always a good investment. Sometimes it takes a long time for it to appreciate. You can't make more land in the United States. It's a finite amount, and I applaud these athletes that are putting their dollars where their bellies are. And we know that gut health and powering your body with healthy whole foods is so important.
athletes.
So we need that.
Eat correctly, and to eat correctly, you have to have food that is grown.
Correct.
Good job, Joe. Way to lead the charge.
Well, after we leave the farm, we get out and about in our daily lives. We can walk into a party and be in the same dress as someone, or look at someone and say, oh, they stole my look. And it makes you feel a little funny, but I've never met somebody who I'm like, looks exactly like me, like a doppelganger. Have you?
I've been compared to somebody. I was given an account in the modeling industry. If you look similar to somebody and have similar measurements, then you can stand in for them. You can be their fit model. They can put clothing on you that's going to shoot. So I used to get Heidi Klum all the time, which I was flattered by. But back then we were having kids at the same time, and we're in the same stages. I actually did a lot of things while she was pregnant because I was pregnant too. That's the only person that somebody compared me to on multiple occasions.
Most recently, when I was in Houston for the rodeo, I got Lainey Wilson, who I really am not even sure of her music, but I know she's a famous country star. But I also had a couple of other things that led people to think I might be her. I had gotten upgraded to first class because my husband pulled a couple mileage strings. I was in first class wearing a cowboy hat. So maybe not exactly doppelgangers, but I got her. And also when I was a brunette, not many people knew me during my brunette phase. I also used to get Demi Moore.
Oh, look.
Yeah, right.
She's very pretty.
I
like her vibe. I like her vibe.
Yeah, I'll take Lainey.
Demi Moore as a brunette. I was actually considered to be Courtney Cox, if you can imagine. I had a shag. It was when I first moved to New York. They wanted me to look everything but all-American girl. I always got the Kim Alexis, Cheryl Tiegs, Christy Brinkley like genre. That was not considered high fashion. That was considered commercial and realistic and approachable. So I had to try to be everything I wasn't. So I became relatively emaciated and got a crazy shag because Friends was in. And I think I posted a photo of that on
I think you did.
our Instagram.
Yeah. And I think what we should do, you're going to see the two examples for both Farley and I, and we'll put the two pictures and you guys decide if we look like our supposed doppelgangers. It's a really interesting thing that the name is German and it's double twin.
Like your evil twin. It was like a bad omen. If you looked like somebody and saw somebody that looked like you, it was like your evil, sinister side.
To me, that sort of makes sense because genetically, if you look a lot like someone else, you're probably thinking biologically you could potentially be related.
Identical twins always fascinate me. I want to know if they're thinking the same things. Do they feel the same type of pain when going through things? Or are they the exact opposite of each other? Does one like this and the other hates it?
Yeah, but they're true biological, not doppelgangers. They're twins. I'm talking about the doppelganger that you would see, let's call it 100 years ago, before social media, before technology, before everything. And you would run into somebody that looked just like you. I think that was a red flag in your being, because that genetic composition, if you were the same, that would mean that you came from some lineage that you didn't know the mother or the father, right? If I found somebody that looked exactly like me, your psyche would say, my God, is my father your father?
I'm sure a lot
is
of
your
that's
mother?
happened.
I'm sure it has.
I remember watching That's Incredible, the show that's dating me tremendously.
But it was amazing. Dating me too.
They had a doppelganger episode where they had a lot of people that looked like each other on the show. Two people recognized as they started putting multiple things together that they were identical twins separated at birth.
After they realized they had the same birthday and were born relatively close to one another. Oh, and maybe the same hospital.
I think that the producer recognized it or contemplated it, and it was unveiled.
The early Jerry Springer moment of
Maybe.
like, whoa, this is actually your brother or your sister.
Maybe. I look at Prissy Lefebvre, which is another episode that we did where I donated my eggs to her so she could have children. And we look alike on paper. We were both tall, blonde, athletic builds, similar eye color. And when those kids came out, one looks exactly like the father and one looks very similar to one of my children. So the genetic code doesn't necessarily make sense. Sometimes it's spot on, and other times it could be, hey, you're Scottish and they married a German, and whatever the norm is with both of those cultures starts to translate. You go to Sweden, Norway, Finland, Denmark, you're looking at a lot of blonde Aryan people that look the same.
Yeah. And another component of that too is that there are only certain finite number of qualities that people have, God willing, 2 eyes, a nose, a mouth, 2 ears, color of hair, facial structure. There aren't
recessive genes.
There aren't infinite numbers. Most people don't have an octagonal face.
You either have
Right,
brown,
you have
green,
round, right.
blue eyes, maybe,
Right.
Pink in some cases.
Outright albino, but your facial structure is a finite number. You can see it when you come into the amount of variables and they become diminished, and the heritage that's the same. You recognize there can also be like idiosyncrasies that become a culture that people then act more similarly. So then they become more doppelganger-ish.
Agreed.
They just tend to have the same qualities. But I think the doppelganger qualities in Hollywood are insane.
Well, it's because it resonates with what people like and what they want to consume. Brad Pitt, he's accepted widely as a very attractive male. They're going to try to cast somebody that looks similar to him.
What have we found that looks like Brad Pitt?
His name is Jody Lee Petty. He was in the business with me 100 years ago.
Okay, we're going to show his picture too.
And he looked exactly like Brad Pitt in Thelma and Louise. He looked so similar, and he booked a ton of stuff because he looked like him. And there's a phenomenon that's going around the internet right now, and I don't know that I would want to look like this person, but everybody keeps saying they keep seeing Jeffrey Epstein. Epstein is popping up in Palm Beach.
Well, that's Palm Beach Pete.
Palm Beach Pete.
Palm Beach Pete. I think you need to lean out on your mayoral bid.
Especially when you're posing for pictures with beautiful young girls. It's creepy, and he likes it too much. And I'm going to show you a photo of my daughter's best friends who were just out in the Hamptons and saw Jeffrey Epstein, not realizing that it was Palm Beach Pete. And they thought they really had busted him, and he was obligingly willing to.
Well, they didn't know he was dead. I was like, did you know? I was like, really? You saw Jeffrey Epstein? I was like, did you know he's dead?
But people don't know he's dead because there's still a rumor going around that he's. That's the question. But I would not want to be
never
Jeffrey Epstein's doppelganger. There's a lot of doppelgangers out there.
There are.
Hollywood doppelganger. She's going to read you some very similar looking facial structures.
Farley and I agree, our absolute favorite. They also lean into it heavily. Will Ferrell and Chad Smith. Will Ferrell, hopefully everybody knows it. He's basically a household name. Chad Smith may not be. He's the drummer for the Red Hot Chili Peppers. And they actually do skits where they play one another.
It's freakish.
And they do a very good job of.
I do not think that I would know which one was which, because they look like they could be identical twins separated at birth and have minor differences. They look so much alike. There's also plastic surgery clones, which is terrifying. And the number one person that everybody wants to emulate that's willing to go under the knife and spend a lot of money is Kim Kardashian.
Well,
And-
she did. So they were emulating how she got there too.
Exactly. She is the number one requested copy paste face. She's number one.
Copy paste face. Just
Copy
let
paste
sit.
face.
Just let that sit for a second.
Yeah.
That is so troubling to me in the mode where we are with it's like scale and replicate
And AI.
and all of it. That's exactly where we are, where people are so obsessed with others that they're willing to give up their identity to copy and paste. That's the term. They don't even know Kim Kardashian.
They just like what they see. And they think that if they're as beautiful as they perceive her to be, that they'll become as successful as she. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess it works because scale and replicate is what we're doing in this world.
Number two is Britney Spears. I think because she looks wholesome and all American. So if you want to be pop starry instead of Kim Kardashian-y, Latin-y, whatever Kim Kardashian's background is.
Well, Kim Kardashian.
I could not look like Kim Kardashian.
Kim Kardashian suits the dark, voluptuous ethnic female.
Right.
And Britney Spears is like corn-fed, next door
Like us. We
neighbor.
could go-
Never, yeah.
And then for men, Brad Pitt. There's a story of twins. Google Matt and Mike Schlepp. Okay. Schlepp.
They should have changed her name. They're going to doppelgang. They could have picked something else.
They've spent $29,000 each and they're actor wannabes. I'm not sure if they're successful, but they did spend some money trying to look more chiseled and Brad Pitt like.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I think that's money well spent.
I'm going to give you an example of a girl in our hometown. Two people that are in the same community that really look alike and they could use each other's IDs.
One could use the other ID. The other one doesn't want anything to do with the other person's ID. So it's
true.
It's a one-sided
It's a one-sided thing. And you know what? When you're in that mind frame of I need an ID so that I can get out because I'm underage.
Oh, it's a big deal.
That's probably when you really think about who do I look alike the most.
Oh, 1,000%.
And I got to find somebody that looks like me, that is a similar height and maybe the same eye color.
Totally. Listen, when my sister was turning 21, I'm 2.5 years older than my sister. I literally went to DMV so I could give her my original. And I did my hair and I tried to smile like my sister. I tried to make myself look more like my sister so she would get an easier time using my original. And I took the dupe.
Oh my God.
I was a good sister. You're welcome, Suzanne.
Listen, I was terrified. I had a friend I went to high school with and we had everything the same on paper. And she gave me all of her credentials. I went to the DMV in Jacksonville, Florida, and all of a sudden they went behind a glassed-in office.
It's because Farley has no poker face like Jennifer.
And
She probably was like,
I started getting stressed because I felt like there was a secret button underneath the counter that they were standing around. And I scooped up all the points of ID and ran out the door because I was so terrified that I was going to get arrested. And that was like a felony.
before there was identity theft, there was identity theft. And I did the same thing with my cousin, Christine. I tried to go with her to DMV and she chickened out. And I remember being so mad at her. I think that the gravity of the situation and the complexity of DMV freaked her out, but it was something you still could do back in our day.
Oh, I had balls and I was not afraid until I got there and thought I'm going down.
Going to
And
jail.
yes, that would have been
Lock them up,
No.
Farley Boyle,
no
Farley
bueno.
Snow.
No bueno.
And mom and dad would have been like,
Holy
they would have
smokes.
died. So would my parents. My parents would have been like, what?
Listen, I'm young for my age, so I was just doing the math and I was not able to go have a lot of fun in the same directions that my older friends were. So I was
You're not young for your age. You're young for your crew. You're exactly the age you're supposed to be
Well,
when you're your
true.
age.
well, I have a September birthday, so I was the last person to drive and all that. I'm looking at a really interesting collection of photos, and it's portraits of people who look alike but are not related at all. We're going to put a link up in our podcast. There is a photographer named Francois Brunel. He's a Canadian photographer. This has been his passion project for a very long time, and these people are uncanny looking. So we're going to post some of those photos because there genuinely could be somebody out there that looks a lot like me, that looks a lot like Jen. It would be intriguing to meet them. And I think now with all of this AI facial recognition technology,
absolutely.
and the fact that we're feeding social media image after image of ourselves and the selfies, it's just nuts how many images AI has, and our voices and what we like. We've fed it so much information about us. It's frightening because as big of a topic as cloning is, this is the new form of cloning indirectly, and you don't even know if it's real, if it's a catfish.
I completely agree with everything you said, but the crazy thing is when you go through global entry, that does 100% facial recognition
well, it's eyeballs.
with your eyeballs and face and everything else. And so there is a uniqueness to each of us that I think is super cool, or at least the computers have found that. Maybe we can't recognize it as human beings, which again, we go back to that being really scary, that a computer knows more than we do about the nuances and differences as humans, even though we can have a doppelganger that looks almost identical to us.
Fingerprinting. You're not going to have an identical fingerprint out there.
Yeah, there's a couple of those biometrics.
People can put contacts in to change their eye color, but it's not going to scan different. I mean, like, it's not going to change.
I don't think you can scan with eye contacts, can you?
I have contacts. I wear them
but
every day.
You don't have colored contacts when you go through.
These have a bit of color. They're not there to change my eye color, but I go through clear and
no difference. Interesting. Well, I think the doppelganger conversation in this book is interesting because they come from all over the world.
Well, he became interested in the human face when he started out in photography back in 1968. It's hard. That's a research project. Trying to find people that look alike. How would you even go about doing that before the times that we're in now?
In 1968?
Yes.
Oh my God. I don't know that you do.
It's word of mouth. Do you go to universities? Do you start compiling yearbooks? I don't even know how you would go about that, but he included...
Put your face on a milk carton?
Hopefully not. We all can kind of look a little. When you start hanging out with somebody excessively like we do, you start to look like each other. So that does happen.
Yeah.
And you do pick up somebody else's characteristics.
Yeah. And then you have the crazy single white female situation. That movie took the whole doppelganger identity to the next level. Where you have somebody who has a look or a style. And this is happening because of social media all over the place too. You have the people that are doing the actual physical transformation with plastic surgery, but then you'll have people that just copy people's looks, and you can emulate looks that make you look like a doppelganger and more like the person, which I think is really incredible because 30 years ago, 20 years ago, you had a style and people weren't as easy to copy. You maybe copied something out of a magazine or on a TV show.
Rhinoplasty helps a lot.
Oh.
I feel like people get nose jobs to look a little more like someone. They take in a picture of the nose that they like. And if they want to look like that person, that starts shaping things a bit differently.
Well, and everybody has a nose job these days. Even if you want to look like Kim Kardashian and you want to copy and paste her face, I judge not. I think if you're unhappy, if you have the opportunity, means, and money to do it, do it. If you don't like your nose, I mean, there's days I don't like my nose. Today, I like my nose. I don't know why. There's certain days I like my nose and certain days I don't. Maybe it was the powder Farley gave my nose.
I don't know.
But I do think that there's a very fine line on how much you want to change to be like someone else. I love the fact that God made us all individuals. And
uniquely different for a reason.
And I get concerned about the peer pressure aspect of looking like somebody else or trying to emulate somebody, unlike the supernatural doppelganger that just happened.
Well, taking it back to the Hollywood doppelganger, something's visually pleasing that we identify with, and therefore we go after another similar look because it was successful. It's funny when you look at Jeremy Allen White and Gene Wilder, two that you would never put side by side. We'll share this image with you, but they're quirky enough in their own right that they look alike. Jen's got a list of all kinds of different people that when you start to think about it, you understand that maybe this is why people are following in somebody's footsteps or why they got cast in a particular role because they are somewhat reminiscent of the other person. Emma McKay and Margot Robbie, they look alike.
Jamie Presley gets Margot Robbie too.
It also is the way they're dressed or the angle they were photographed. Harry Styles and Charlie Heaton, they look identical. They look like they could be the same person. I wouldn't even know who was who, which is shocking. Who else, Jen?
I got Isla Fisher and Amy Adams. They're two redheads, and they definitely have the same skin tone and cute, impish, but very girl next door type of look. The one that I think is interesting is Keira Knightley and Natalie Portman. I didn't put them together.
Beautiful, classic, refined features.
Yes.
That are perfectly symmetrical.
They're beautiful, stunning, and let's be honest, it's also the way they wear their hair and the way they photograph can make a big difference.
Nina Dobrev and Victoria Justice. Wow. They really look alike. Minka Kelly and Leighton Meester. They look very similar. Camila Mendez and Phoebe Tonkin. Similar features. I think that's what it is. When you have some similar features, Beth Bears and Erin Andrews, they definitely look similar. Tom Hardy and Logan Marshall Green.
This one got me because I couldn't name these two actors. If you forced me off a cliff, I couldn't come up with the names. But these are actors that have been in many things. And I thought they were the same person.
Zoe Deschanel and Katy Perry, they went through a stage where they looked identical. That is just absolutely nuts.
Wouldn't it be nice if they could trade like they did with the sister swap? What was the one where the twins swapped and it was the girl?
It was
a Disney.
Oh, I loved it. Oh God.
What the heck is her name?
It's Jamie Lee Curtis was in it.
Yes.
And it was Lindsay Lohan.
Yes. And Lindsay played obviously both characters.
Yes.
Like that was so funny where the twins swapped with one another. I wonder if these doppelganger famous people ever think about doing that, like Will Ferrell.
I'm sure there's been stand-ins that are very similar looking to the principal actor. I've had stand-in roles. Actually, I had a stand-in role for Kathy Ireland, and I did not look a lot like her, but certain angles, they could actually keep me in. If it wasn't like there was anything discernible about me, that would have made Lindsay Lohan's role a little bit easier.
Yeah, that makes it funny. Last night, the boys and I were watching Project Hail Mary. And Shane said at one point, Ryan Gosling and Ryan Reynolds are really good friends. And there's an image of Ryan Gosling, who stars in the movie, where he's upside down. And Shane's like, I swear to God, that's Ryan Reynolds.
Weird.
Yeah. They like to do little fun thing to see if people are paying attention. So it's one of the aspects when he's in the spaceship upside down. And I'm like, yeah, but the human face is not recognizable upside down. Did you know that?
No.
If you put faces upside down, test this at home. See if you can figure out who they are. People have a very hard time if you're upside down.
We have to Google Ryan Gosling.
Well,
I think that's real. Shane nailed it.
Yeah, well, he's usually spot on about things like that.
Will Arnett and Patrick Wilson, holy smokes. Even the same face shape. I think that's got a lot to do with things, is oval faces, long faces, hairlines.
Yeah, large hairlines.
Or lack thereof. Bald people. It's just a fun conversation to have. Wow. Javier Bardem and Jeffrey Dean Morgan. Doppelgängers. Yep. Wild. We're going to post a lot of these fun things.
And what about Rupert Grint from the Harry Potter movies and Ed Sheeran? Ed Sheeran is a funny one because they say there are so many people like Kim Kardashian trying to replicate Ed Sheeran's look. There's an Ed Sheeran lookalike thing. I keep saying what we really need to do is every year in Asbury, there's the I Love Lucy and the Mrs. Roper convention that hysterical. Comes. And my sister-in-law and I have been talking. We want to do the Beetlejuice one. We think that would be really fun. Everybody be like a doppelganger of all of those. That to me is like so fun.
I agree. I'm looking at some hot ones right now. Josh Holloway and Nicolaj Coster-Waldau.
I don't know who that is, but I want to know.
H.O.T., the guy from Lost. Remember Josh Holloway?
Yeah, I like him.
And whoever he is, I think he's in the show that is, they have the dragons. He likes his sister.
Yes.
Extramarital affairs with his own sister.
Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones. All right. We're talking about doppelgangers because it goes back to our understanding that A, we're not alone on this planet. B, you can't get too close to your genetic makeup. C, there might be somebody that looks like you, but isn't exactly you. I think the takeaway is do you. There's nobody else like you.
Agree.
Even if somebody looks like you, they're not you, and they can't pass for you when you go through clear or global entry. So there you go.
Another interesting episode of Girls Gone Gritty. We had fun with this one, as you can tell, and we hope that you enjoyed it. And see if you can find who a celeb lookalike would be for you, and send us a picture if you think you look like somebody. Or if somebody's told you that you look like a celeb or anyone. I'd love to get an influx of doppelganger photos coming into Girls Gone Gritty so that we can share them with all of you.
Super fun. Love it.
All right.
Well, our next segment is always fun. And I recognize that we haven't done a lot in this sector. Our Got Grit Award winner are the crew of the USS Abraham Lincoln. This crew is incredible because they have set the record for 210 days and counting without a protocol stop. This is a floating city of more than 5,000 crew members. They have everything on board that they could possibly need except for land. It has extraordinary endurance. They are in 294-day deployment total. So even though it's a 210, they have stopped, but they're continuously deployed. They're currently in the Adrian Sea, which is off of our conflict in Iran. Obviously, the location is not specific because of its mission. They have a flight operation with a carrier strike group. So they're an aircraft carrier that has planes going on and off. It is high intensity, high energy, nonstop. And this crew, not only do they not have shore leave, but it's the family separation and the operational tempo of being so hot and high, and the conditions are cramped and tough. So I want to award our Got Grit Award winner to all of our servicemen, highlighting the U.S. Abraham Lincoln, but all the servicemen that are giving up friends and family and comforts of home to serve in our country. Whether you believe in the war or not, that's not what it's about. It's believing in the people that have chosen to serve. And I think they deserve our Got Grit Award for the resilience without an end date here in sight.
That's a long time, and to be on water in an undisclosed location that you can't share with your loved ones. And who knows how often they're even allowed to make contact.
Yeah. And you're in an active military war. So that anxiety and stress level, I know they're trained for it, has got to be riding high all the time to serve our country. And again, whether you believe in what we're doing or not, I don't personally believe in war, but that's me taking the high road on that from a moral standpoint. But I understand sometimes we have to do things. And again, not putting that on the table, making it about the people that give and serve our country. That's who we want to honor.
Agreed. So my song this week is an oldie but goodie. And when I first heard it, it hit home. And every time I hear it, it takes me right back to where I was when I heard it the first time. So I'm going to take us back on a little nostalgia tour. And here I go. Here comes the rain again, falling on my head like a memory, falling on my head like a new emotion. I want to walk to the open wind. I want to talk like lovers do. Want to dive into your ocean. Is it raining with you? So baby, talk to me like lovers do.
How can you not know the Eurythmics? Their look was iconic. She definitely didn't have any doppelgangers back in the 80s for sure. She was a unique human being, and we love everything that she does.
Annie Lennox is badass.
She is.
If you haven't heard of her, tap into that because it's stateless.
It is. My kids listen to her and they love them.
Whenever she comes on or they come on, you know the song and it takes you back to music you used to listen to that made you happy and relive some of your life.
You know, here comes the rain again in the state of New Jersey. But after the run we've had, I'm okay with it for a little while. I do appreciate the rain to hunker down and get some things done.
Well, I like when my grass is green and when my flowers don't need me to water them 24/7.
Rain in your forecast and you're looking for something to do, you can binge listen to Girls Gone Gritty. We'd love for you to catch up on some old episodes, tune into some new ones, and continue to like, share, and pass us along to friends, to family.
120,000 downloads, people.
Yeah. Thank you so much for tuning in, liking us, and make it a fantastic Thursday. Peace out.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Girls Gone Gritty.
Visit us on Instagram, Facebook, and now TikTok.
If this episode hits home, share it with someone who needs to get gritty.
Own it and put the it in grit.
See you next episode.